All right, Team Canada, the team to beat coming in, and take a look at their record right now. Perfect. 3-0-0 in the preliminary rounds, and they are moving on to the semifinals. The top-seeded team in this tournament right now, averaging they are averaging 4.67 goals per game. So this team can certainly put them in the net and keep them out of their own net. Patrice Bergeron is one of the many horses in the stable for this Team Canada, and here he is mic'd up last time out.
It's the final game of the group stage for Canada and Team Europe.
Good luck to both teams.
All set? I'm walking.
Sidney Crosby scores. A wraparound. Canada leads 1-0. That's redirected in front by Jonathan Toews. A turnover.
Right up, Taser! Just that secret pass. Go, go, go! Drive in that corner like that. Yeah, well, I feel like I can get there first, so unless you don't want me to go at all, but I'll just play the wing if you do that. Yeah. Wait for my D, please. Oh, I'm waiting for your goalie now, though. Hold on. Yeah.
Face-off win by Patrice Bergeron.
I didn't see it. I didn't think that Bergeron was going to shoot that. My bad. I tipped that. I blocked it. Bring your foot back and that puts up to the bar. Down low. Go stick down. It's not going to be perfect. Stick down. It's not going to be perfect. Stick down.
Canada.
Big win, big win.
Through the group stage was perfect.
Good boy, good boy. Good job. Great game, bud. Good job, man. Great game, bud, huh? Sick, buddy.
The semifinals are set, and the brackets look like this. Team Canada and Team Russia coming up on Saturday. Then on Sunday afternoon, it is Team Sweden and Team Europe. The winner moves on to a best-of-3 final up at the ACC. All right, Russia, Canada. You see the records right there. Russia has one blemish. Meanwhile, Team Canada, perfect. The goals for 14-8 goals allowed. Team Canada has only given up 3 goals so far in these 3 games. We talk about how potent this Team Canada offense is. So if you're Russia, how do you beat this team?
Well, Russia has offensive talent, but I don't think they can go goal for goal with Canada, because Canada has 4 lines that are first lines. So I think what Russia has to do is take a page out of their playbook that they had against the Finns today in their victory, where they were sacrificing their body. They were blocking shots, and they're not really known for their defensive play. We didn't think that their defense was all that strong. But look at these guys laying out. They knew this was a big game. It wasn't the prettiest of hockey games, but a real patient game for the Russians. As you see right there, getting in shot lanes. These are areas of the game that go unnoticed at times, but they're effective. And Sergei Bobrovsky talked about how much his team sacrificed in front of him. They're going to need a huge effort against Canada. Almost a perfect game. They're going to have that mentality where they have to try and win 1-0. I don't think they can go goal for goal. I think they have to play a patient game, hope that Bobrovsky's big, come up with some big shot blocks. But keep in mind, in one game, anything can happen. This is not a best-of-3, a best-of-7. It's one game. If the Russians can put it together, and remember that they've got a goose egg on the power play so far in this tournament. If they can get this power play going, it could be a tough game for Canada. It's a big rivalry, but Canada is the favorite, no doubt. But the Russians have to play a perfect game in order to beat Canada.
Has Canada been tested yet? Could this be their first real test coming up, and could that be a shock for this team, or no?
Well, it could be their first real test. I don't think they have been tested so far, aside from the pre-tournament games, maybe that first game against the United States where it was a physical affair. I don't think the Canadians have been tested. I don't think the Canadians are going to let their guard down. These guys are way too professional to even take their foot off the gas. They know the importance of this game against the Russians. They don't want to give them life. They know it's a one-game situation where if they fall behind the 8 ball early on, anything can happen. I suspect that they're going to be ready to play. I still think the biggest challenge for Canada would be a potential matchup against Sweden in the final, although I would have loved to see North America play Canada. I think of all the teams, maybe Russia is the best opponent that Canada could face in the semifinals.
All right, you could see these two teams no strangers to meeting in international play of late. You can see Canada has had the upper hand at the 2015 Worlds and then the 2010 Winter Olympics, but Russia got them 3 in a row there from 2009, 2008, and 2006. So who knows in this matchup coming up on Saturday. And for Team Europe, the oldest team in this tournament, maybe the 4 days off kind of benefits them more than Team Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, we could be searching for something here, but yeah, for the oldest team, 4 days may not hurt them. You know, they're a surprise team in this situation. I think that they're sitting here saying, we can't believe we're playing in the semifinals, but they are. Like I said, in the same situation, Canada and Russia, you're looking at one game. And in one game, anything can happen. For Europe, the 4 days could do them a lot of good.
And for Team Sweden, as we take a look at the comparison here, you can see the records. The goals for, exactly 7 goals allowed. This should be a really good matchup. Almost identical as far as on paper goes. But when you talk about this Team Sweden team, so much of their offense is generated from their defense. What have you seen from this blue line?
Well, their blue line is the best in the tournament, I believe. You know, and this is not to discredit Canada's defense, but I think the group that Sweden has, they're good defensively, they're good offensively. They're not afraid to jump up into the play. And you can see here early on in the tournament, Victor Hedman recognizing an opportunity to go, and he makes the Russians pay. They have the ability to do this. They're guys that can jump up in the play and create from the back end, and they do a good job right here. Hedman, a big guy who can skate, gets his puck right off his stick real quick. And then in the game against the Finns, watch Anton Stralman. He's recognizing on this cycle down low between the Sedins. He wants to jump into the fray. He gets right to the blue paint and makes the Finns pay. Now, with that being said, when you jump up in the play, bad things can happen as well. North America was able to expose the Swedes right here. Jarmelson thought the puck was going in the net. He guessed wrong. It was a breakaway the other direction, and Johnny Gaudreau made them pay. So if I'm Team Europe, I'm looking at maybe trying to expose some of that offensive flair from the Swedish defense and see if we can create some offense on some mistakes. The question that I have, though, is Team Europe fast enough to recognize these situations and make them pay the way North America did? I don't really think that's the case, but when you look at the defense here, boy, they can add points from the back end.
305 total points from their blue line last season in the NHL, and this is a team that they put up the offensive numbers, but they take care of business defensively as well. Structure by Sweden. They're a disciplined team in their structure. They know what they're doing on the defensive side of the puck. There's not a lot of surprises when you play Sweden. You know what you're going to get. You have to play a patient game. If I'm Team Europe, you're looking to try and win this game 1-0, 2-1. When you get by their defense, then you got to face Henrik Lundqvist, who maybe we had some question marks about him going into the tournament. I think things have settled down a little bit. We know it's the Henrik Lundqvist of old. So this is a tough matchup for Europe in the sense that it's going to take a disciplined, patient game by Europe in order to get the breaks. They're going to have to be opportunistic. If they are not, I can't imagine that they're going to be able to get by the Swedish team. Can Europe win with Halak in net being just good? I don't think so. I think Halak's going to have to be better than good. Like I say, they're going to need a patient game, but at the same time, they're going to need some quality goaltending. I don't think we're going to see a game where Halak is not tested. The Swedish team has the ability, like I say, to create offense from the back end, which can create a lot of issues for teams defensively. When you have the defense jumping in, that means the European forwards are going to have to back pressure really hard. They don't want to get beat up the ice by the defense who are joining the rush and sometimes leading the rush. They have to get back, and Halak's going to play a huge role in that too. He's going to face some odd man rushes. He's going to have to come up big. If he's good, I don't know if it's going to be good enough for Europe. He's going to have to be great.